I rise to present a statement of the estimated receipts and expenditure of the Government of India for the year 2016-17.
This is never done. This is never done, madam. The finance minister has called his budget speech. This is never done. Very cheap politics. This is never done. Let and taken in the house. The budget, on budget also, they want to have score political points. Nothing can go on record. Madam, I request you, nothing can go on record. Except budget.
Please, 1 minute. No, please. I have already said that I have received notices of question of privilege dated 26th and 29 February respectively against Srimati Smriti Irani ji. Naam aana chahiye na? Yes. But the matter is under my consideration. That is the thing. No, now nothing will.
Have some respect. Have some respect for the parliamentary system. This is not the way.
Madam Speaker, I rise to present the budget for the year 2016-17. I am presenting this budget when the global economy is in a serious crisis. Global growth has slowed down from 3.4% in 2014 to 3.1% in 2015. Financial markets have been battered and global trade has contracted. Amidst all these global headwinds, the Indian economy has held its ground firmly. Thanks to our inherent strength and the policies of the government, a lot of confidence and hope continues to be built around India. The International Monetary Fund has hailed India as the bright spot amidst a slowing global economy. The World Economic Forum has said that India's growth is extraordinarily high. We accomplished this despite unfavorable conditions and despite the fact that we inherited an economy of low growth, high inflation and zero investor confidence in the government's capability to govern. We converted these difficulties and challenges into an opportunity. कश्ती चलाने वालों ने जब हार के दी पतवार हमें, लहर लहर तूफान मिले और मौर मौज मझधार हमें, फिर भी दिखाया है हमने और फिर ये दिखा देंगे सबको कि इन हालात में आता है दरिया करना पार हमें. Let us look at our achievements compared to the last 3 years of the previous government when growth had decelerated to 6.3%. The growth of the GDP has now accelerated to 7.6%. This was possible notwithstanding the contraction of global exports by 4.4% compared to 7.7% growth in the world exports during the last 3 years of the previous government. CPI inflation was 9.4% during the last 3 years of the previous government. Under our government, the CPI inflation has come down to 5.4%, providing big relief to the public. This was accomplished despite 2 consecutive years of monsoon shortfall of 13% compared to the normal rainfall in the last 3 years of the previous government. Our external situation is robust. The current account deficit has declined from $18.4 billion in the first half of last year to $14.4 billion this year. It is projected to be 1.4% of the GDP at the end of this year. Our foreign exchange reserves are at the highest ever level of about $350 billion. Our initiatives in the last 21 months have not only placed the economy on a faster growth trajectory, but have bridged the trust deficit created by the previous government. We had to work in an unsupportive global environment, adverse weather conditions, and an obstructive political atmosphere. Madam, हमने आसमानी और सुल्तानी दोनों परिबलों से ने परेशान किया है. We believe in the principle that money with the government belongs to the people, and we have a sacred responsibility to spend it prudently and wisely for the welfare of our people, especially the poor and the downtrodden. We have increased our planned expenditure at the RE stage in 2015-16, in contrast to the usual practice of reducing it. We have achieved this despite adopting the 14th Finance Commission recommendations, which have increased the devolution to the states by 55%. We must now look ahead. The risk of global slowdown and turbulence are mounting. This complicates the task of economic management for India. It has three serious implications for us. First, we must strengthen the firewalls against these risks by ensuring macroeconomic stability and prudent fiscal management. Secondly, since foreign markets are weak, we must rely on domestic demand and Indian markets to ensure that the Indian growth does not slow down. And third, we must continue with the pace of economic reforms and policy initiatives to change the lives of our people for the better. We see these challenges as opportunities. The financial year 2015-16 and 16-17 have been and will be extremely challenging for the government expenditure. The 14th Finance Commission has reduced the centre's share of taxes to 58% from 68%. In the financial year 2015-16, we managed to improve upon the budgeted expenditure due to resource revenue buoyancy, notwithstanding the steep reduction in the central share of taxes. The next financial year, 2016-17, will cast an additional burden on account of the recommendations of the 7th Central Pay Commission and implementation of the Defence OROP. The government, therefore, has to prioritize its expenditure. We wish to enhance the expenditure in the farm and the rural sector, the social sector, the infrastructure sector, and provide for recapitalization of the banks. This will address those sectors which need immediate attention. Once the government discharges these priority obligations, it will then focus on areas which are of utmost priority to the government. While increasing the outlay of the various social sector programs, the government will undertake three major schemes to help the weaker sections of society. The Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana has already been announced to protect the farmer from adverse consequences of nature. The farmer will pay a nominal amount of insurance premium and get the highest ever compensation in the event of loss suffered. A health insurance scheme which protects 1/3 of India's population against hospitalization expenditure is being announced. The government is launching a new initiative to ensure that the BPL families are provided with cooking gas connections supported by a government subsidy. This will significantly improve the health of women and those BPL families who suffer adversely from the ill effects of chula cooking. The annual budget is also an opportunity for the government to outline its priorities for the year to come. The priority of the government is clearly to provide additional resource to vulnerable sections of the rural areas, social and physical infrastructure creation. The government shall endeavour to continue with ongoing reform program and ensure the passage of the Constitution Amendment to enable the implementation of the Goods and Services Tax, the passage of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Law, and other important reform measures which are pending before Parliament. Additionally, as I will elaborate later, we will undertake a significant reform such as the enactment of a law to ensure that all government benefits are conferred on persons who deserve it by giving a statutory backing to the Aadhaar platform, bringing significant changes in the legislative framework relating to the transport sector so as to free it from constraints and restrictions, incentivizing gas discovery and exploration by providing calibrated market freedom, enactment of a comprehensive law to deal with resolution of financial firms, providing a legal framework of dispute resolution in PPP projects and public utility contracts, undertaking important banking sector reforms and public listing of general insurance companies, and undertaking significant changes in the FDI policy. Our agenda for the next year, therefore, is to transform India in this direction. My budget proposals are therefore built on this transformative agenda with 9 different pillars. They include: 1, agriculture and farmers' welfare with a focus on doubling farmers' income in 5 years. 2, rural sector with emphasis on rural employment and infrastructure. 3, social sector including healthcare to cover all the under welfare and health services. 4, educational skills and job creation to make India a knowledge-based and productive society. 5, infrastructure and investment to enhance efficiency and quality of life. 6, financial sector reforms to bring transparency and stability. 7, governance and ease of doing business to enable people to realize their full potential. 8, fiscal discipline, prudent management of government finances and delivery of benefits to the needy. 9, tax reforms to reduce compliance burden with a faith in the citizenry. In each of these things, I shall outline specific policy measures and initiatives which would have a transformative impact on our economy and the lives of our people. Agriculture and farmers' welfare. Let me first take up agriculture and farmers' welfare. We are grateful to our farmers for being the backbone of the country's food security. We need to think beyond food security and give back to our farmers a sense of income security. Government will therefore reorient its interventions in the farm and non-farm sector to double the income of farmers by 2022. Our total allocation on agriculture and farmers' welfare is rupees 35,984 crores. We need to address issues of optimal utilization of our water resources, create new infrastructure for irrigation, conserve soil fertility with balanced use of fertilizer, and provide value addition and connectivity from farm to markets. Irrigation is critical for increasing agricultural production and productivity. Of the 141 million hectares of net cultivated area in the country, only 46% is covered with irrigation. The Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sichai Yojana has been strengthened and implemented in mission mode. 28.5 lakh hectares will be brought under irrigation under this scheme. Implementation of 89 irrigation projects under AIBP, which has been languishing, will be fast-tracked. This will help us to irrigate 80.6 lakh hectares. These projects require rupees 17,000 crores next year and rupees 86,500 crores in the next 5 years. We will ensure that 23 of these projects are completed before 31st March 2017. A dedicated long-term irrigation fund will be created in NABARD with an initial corpus of about rupees 20,000 crores to achieve all these. A total provision of rupees 12,517 crore has been made through budgetary.
झी 24 तास रहा एक पाऊल पुढे.